Test number 13, study guide. Number 1, a sporting goods store is having a sale of 25% off all winter apparel. What is the discount and new price of a jacket that originally cost $230? So let's first find out how much they saved, which would be the discount. So we've got 25%, which I'm going to write as 0.25, and we need to multiply it by our $230. And I'm going to put the $230 on top there. So multiplying, we get 0, 15, carry 1, 10, 11. Then 2 times 0, 2 times 3, and 2 times 2. 0, 5, 7, 5. And we have 2 decimal places. So we're going to save, I'm going to put it right here. I'm actually going to write it a little bit better. $57.50, and that is my discount. Now, we need to know how much we're going to pay, so let's take the $230, make sure your decimals are lined up, and subtract from it the $57.50. So I have to do a little bit of borrowing. We got to go over here and borrow from the 3, make that a 2, make this a 10, borrow, make it a 9, and make this a 10. So 5 from 10 is 5, 7 from 9 is 2, 5 from, again, we have to borrow. 12 is 7, and then 1. So we're going to pay $172.50 for the jacket. Number 2, simplify the square root of 150. So let's go over here and do the factor tree of 150. 2 goes 75 times. 2 doesn't go again, so 3 will go, let's see, 25 times, and then 3 won't go, so 5 will go 5 times. So our square root is the square root of, I'm going to put the 5 squared at the front. Let's go this way. And then put the 2 times 3 was left over. So we can bring out the square root of the 5 squared and leave the square root of 6. So the square root of the 25 here is going to be 5 times the square root of 6. Number 3, multiply 2x minus 3 times x plus 5. We need to multiply 2 things times 2, which means we'll have 4 products. So I'm going to multiply the 2x first. 2x times x is 2x squared, then plus the 10x. Now distribute the negative 3. I'll get negative 3x minus 15. My 2 middle terms are like terms, so we have 2x squared plus 7x minus 15. Number 4 is also distributing, but you're just multiplying 1 times 3 things, so we'll just go all the way through and distribute. We'll get positive 12x cubed y minus 6x to the 5th plus 3x cubed. You just have to be careful with your exponents and your signs there. Number 5, simplify. Well, it looks like we have some like terms. We have 8a squared b cubes minus 4a squared b cubed, so that will give us 4a squared b cubes. And then 3ab's minus 5ab's will be minus 2ab. Number 6, graph the line y equals 2/3 x minus 4. I don't have any graph paper handy, so I'm just going to do a rough sketch of it. I have it in slope-intercept form. My slope is 2/3, so I'm going to write it positive 2 over positive 3. And then my y-intercept is the negative 4. And you can call that also b. So just doing a very rough sketch. I'll label my axes. I've got a y-intercept of negative 4, so I'm going to go down here and do negative 4. And I'm going to be rising and running. So from here I'm going to rise 2 and run 3. And then I can do it again if I need to. And I believe I do have a ruler. And I will connect those. And there's my line. Number 7, simplify. You cannot cancel unless you have multiplication. To make these both multiplication, I need to take out the GCF on the top and bottom. The GCF on top is 5x, and the GCF on the bottom is 3x. Now we can cancel anything that's multiplied. Well, 5/3 won't reduce, but the x's are gone. And the x minus 2's are gone. You can only cancel those if they're exactly the same. So I have a 5 left on top and a 3 left on the bottom. Number 8, translate the sentence into an inequality. 15 is less than or equal to. Well, there's your inequality. Product of, and product means multiplication, and we're going to be multiplying two things. So 15 is less than or equal to the product of 12, and I'm going to call my number x. And I can write it 12 times x or dot x, or I can just write 12x. Number 9, determine the slope and y-intercept of this line. It is a line. It's got an x and a y in it, and we need to write it in y equals mx plus b form. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the 3x, and I have negative 5y is equal to, and I'm going to commute that, negative 3x plus 15, divide by negative 5, and I get y is equal to, negative over negative will be positive 3/5 x, and then positive divided by negative will be negative 3. So my slope is the positive 3/5, and my y-intercept is the negative 3. Number 10, are these lines perpendicular? Why or why not? Show your work. Well, for lines to be perpendicular, their slopes have to be one positive and one negative, and they also have to be reciprocals of each other. So let's take this one and solve for y. Let's get it in slope y-intercept form, and then we can kind of determine what we need this one to be. So I'm going to rewrite it over here so I have a little bit more room. I'm going to move the 2x, and I get 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 15. Divide by 3, and I get y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 5. Now, for this other line to be perpendicular to it, its slope would have to be positive. See, this one's negative, and it would have to be reciprocal, which would be 3/2. So let's see if it does. Let's rewrite it over here. 9x equals 12 plus 6y. Well, I'm going to do a couple of things changing it around. I'm going to rewrite it as 12 plus 6y equals 9x. I'm just going to, that's a symmetric property, just turn it around, and then I can get rid of the 12. So I have 6y is equal to 9x minus 12. I didn't have to do that, but it's nice to have my y on the left-hand side. Let's divide everything by 6. And we get y is equal to, that reduces to 3/2 x, and then that's going to be minus 2. So notice that the slope of this one is negative 2/3. The slope of this one is positive 3/2. So yes, they're perpendicular because slopes are opposites. Opposite. One positive, one negative, and reciprocal. Number 11, we're multiplying, we're going to distribute. We've got 2 things times 3 things, so we'll have 6 products. Let's take the 2x first all the way across, and we'll have 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 4x. Now take the negative 3 all the way across, and we'll have negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 6. We only have one 2x cubed term, so we'll bring him down. I'm going to lightly mark him out. I see a negative 8x squared and a negative 3x squared, which will be negative 11x squared, so I can mark those out. I have a 4x plus 12x, which is a positive 16x, and I have a constant of negative 6. I like that format. It's in standard form, descending order. Number 12, solve by substitution. It is a set of lines, and we're looking for where they cross. And if I'm going to do it by substitution, I need a variable by itself, which I don't have. I do need a variable, prefer a variable that has a 1 in front of it. So I notice that this y has a 1 in front of it, so I'm going to solve for it. And I get y is equal to 6, and I'm going to leave it 6 minus 3x. I don't have it in, have to have it in slope-intercept form if I'm not going to graph it. Now we're going to take this, and we're going to put it right here for y. Right there. So I'm going to rewrite this. 2x plus 3, and I'm going to take the y out and substitute the 6 minus 3x equals negative 10. Let's distribute. we have negative 7x plus 18 equals negative 10. Get rid of the 18. Negative 7x equals negative 28. Divide by negative 7, and you get x is equal to 4, positive 4. Now I'm going to write my answer over here because we're looking for the point of intersection. So we now have the x, and we just have to find the y. Now, you can go back several places and put that 4. You can put it in the original x here, this x, or you can put it in here. And I think this looks the easiest. So I'm going to say y is equal to 6 minus 3 times 4, which is y is equal to 6 minus 12. So y is equal to negative 6. And that's where the two lines cross.